Well, isn't he a big boy? Let's get him on the tabletop, ASAP. Hi folks, I'm Autumn Witch and I'm continuing with my Deathwatch Leviathan Marines. The Dreadnought is up next and my usual heavy reliance on contrast paint isn't the best for large armour panels, so I'm going a bit more traditional here. Rather than my usual zenithal prime, the right arm gets primed white and the rest gets black, just like the good old days. The black primer is matte black from Highcoat and is a good match for Vallejo's basic black, meaning I can treat the primer as the first base coat and make corrections as I go. Since this is a push-fit model, it has the benefit of being able to be broken down into various sub-assemblies, allowing better access to parts a brush cannot normally reach. The first colour to go over the prime is corn red. I break up the massive expanse of black, 2 thin coats obviously. I also do the gun casing on his twin las cannons and part of the missile launcher. I go over areas primed black that will be lighter colours using grey cere from the pot. This includes the right knee and various pipes and cabling. The metallic areas get 2 thin coats of Stormhost silver, which will be darkened down later with shades and washes. The right shoulder and right knee pad get a base of Army Painter yellow. He is going to be an Imperial Fist on secondment to the Deathwatch, and I want him to be proudly displaying his parent chapter's heraldry. Whilst I shall be treating the black and red armour in the traditional manner, smaller details are just quicker and easier with some contrast and washes. First thing, the silver of the left arm gets glazed with thinned Talisar blue to give the metal that deep rich Deathwatch colour. The parchment gets given a coat of Skeleton Horde. The pipes and cabling get a coat of Militarum green. Any silver parts that are going to be gold are glazed with Guilliman flesh. The yellow gets a glaze of Imperial Fist yellow. The metallics get a glaze of Basilicanum grey. The corn red area gets a recessed shade of Carroburg crimson. And once dry, the left arm gets a coat of Basilicanum grey to darken down that vibrant blue. The left arm gets a heavy dry brush of Stormhost silver to pick out the raised detail. Also, I add a red border to the Deathwatch insignia to give it more definition. The red is then edge highlighted with Wazdaka red, keeping the lines as thin as possible, 2 attributes that cannot be applied to myself. The yellow gets an edge highlight with Vallejo bone white. Then I come to the black armour. I line every edge with Thunderhawk blue. This is where I am glad I can still disassemble the model to get into hard to reach places. I don't have the steadiest hand, but any major flubs can be tidied up with Vallejo black. Now that's down, I can go on to other details. I filled in some lenses as I went through the previous step. These look fine as is, but if you want to give them a bit more pop, adding a dot of pure white in the top right corners will achieve that. I also used a brown handwriting pen to put text on the purity seal. Now I put some dead mid bits before priming on the base, but I haven't done the ground texture yet. So I grabbed Vallejo ground texture, although it's going to be painted over, so anything plentiful and lumpy will work nicely. I have already covered my Deathwatch basing scheme in a previous video, so I will add a link to it. Finally we come to transfers. The Leviathan set came with some really nice ones, including some great Imperial Fist ones. Given the honour of being interred in a Dreadnought, this chap is going to be getting some special markings. I brush decal fixer onto the area I want to put it whilst soaking the transfer in water. This then slides nicely onto the surface with some work time to get it adjusted however you want it. When the transfer is dry, add another coat of fixer over the top and that will keep it in place. I haven't needed to put transfers on anything with more than a slight curve, so I won't need any decal softener, but they are both handy things to have around. I am wondering if you'd be interested in a weathering tutorial for armour and vehicles. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me scuff up this meaty boy. Well, here's the finished piece. I could go back in and add more layers to the highlights, but it looks good enough for the table and for the shelf. I wasn't sure of this model when it was first announced, but I came to really like it as I was painting it. It has taken 2 whole editions of 40k to make me feel like the Primera stuff has started to capture the character and charm of the Marines that came before them. It's getting there. Now if GW can give us some Primera jump pack troops. Anyway, I'd like to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, and if you know someone else who you think will like this video, please do share it with them. I'm Autumn Witch, and I'll catch you next time on Bleeding Tree Gaming.